Hello, my name is Cheryl. I'm with theintrepidgoddess.com. This is a video of a walkthrough of my business altar. It's specifically for my course, Activating Your Dreams, an altar practice, which is a free mini course, and you can get that at my website, theintrepidgoddess.com. So here's the walkthrough. This is my business altar. I'm going to talk about location first. It's located in my office. So that's an excellent place for my business altar. It's on a shelf, and that makes it so it's not very deep. It doesn't have a lot of depth, so I can't really fit a tray, but I've placed a cloth underneath it for a base, and it's really handy. So when I come into my office every day, I can light the candle, I can ring the chimes to activate my altar. I can stand here or sit, and I can think about what my goals are for the day. And I can think about what desires that I've put on my altar that I want to activate and make happen. So it gives me a place to check in, to remember, to keep on track. And also it gives me a place to check in with my higher self and to think about all the things that are important to me in my business. Reconnect with that every day. And really, I think about, like I said, activating the altar as a way to activate those ideas and dreams and thoughts and the ways of being that I've chosen for my business, right? The next thing I want to talk about is the color scheme. The color scheme is mostly warm colors, which I think of as activating colors. They're golds and reds and oranges and some green. And a little bit of blue back here. It's kind of like a blue background, which I actually just added recently. It wasn't there before, but I like that because it gives me a feeling of expansion and of the ability to, well, these are little airplanes, to fly, right? To do things I didn't think I could do before. And my business is like that every day. I'm doing things I didn't think I could do before. So it's important to acknowledge that on my altar and to kind of celebrate it, right? Next, I'm going to walk you through the items I've chosen for the altar. First, this is a chime, and that's a wind element. It's also excellent for clearing the air. So if I get agitated or frustrated, I can come over here and ring the chimes and just sort of activate or just sort of clear the air for myself. And it actually really works. So that's great. This stone is a heart shape, and that's to remind me that I choose to operate my business from a heart center. And this particular stone is called rhodonite. And rhodonite is for compassion and love. So it's an excellent stone to have in a heart shape. And also it reminds me to be compassionate and loving to my clients, to potential clients, to anybody that I work with, and also to myself, which is a really important thing to remember. Next, we have my guide. This is Buddha. Buddha helps me to be thoughtful, really. I ask him to help me to remember what's real and what's not real, and, to keep away from the illusions that might come up in my mind. Things like, I don't know how to do this, I can't do it, I'll never be able to do it. Those things aren't really true. And I've proven to myself that I can do so many things throughout my life. So then he can remind me to think about things like that. Also, he reminds me of introspection, of taking time, of just sort of being honest and truthful and clear with myself. Next is a water element. This is a cutting from a philodendron that I have in my office. It's very abundant. So I'm taking a cutting and I'm letting it root so I can create another plant. So this reminds me of growth and regrowth and using what I have, right, already to make something new. And I like the heart-shaped leaves. Again, that reminds me to be heart-centered. And philodendrons stand for wealth and good health, so I could take more of that as well. Also, the water element, is about intuition and cleansing and those types of things. So then we have, I'm going to show you my desire cards. They're all along the back. This is one for teaching. I'm going to be doing some teaching this year. I'm really excited. So I made this card. I just sort of put on the front what was interesting to me for teaching that caught my eye. And then on the back, I wrote out what my goals are for teaching, but I wrote them as if they've already happened. So I said, what kinds of classes I want, what kinds of students, how much I want to love the class, to teach the classes myself, and just sort of my goals around that. The same thing with clients. So this is my card for clients. And I thought about what kinds of clients, my new goals around finding clients and working with clients and how I want to support them. And that type of thing I've written on the back as if it's already happened. That's a law of attraction tool called scripting. Here's another one. This is about income. Because, I like to eat. And income is very useful. So I'd like to make a good income at my work. I want to give a lot and I'd like to receive. I don't believe that there's any difference in giving and receiving. I think that they happen essentially simultaneously. And I like how money is a way to exchange that energy really easily. Next is the candle. That's a fire element. And a great igniter, right? Fire ignites, it heats, it's passion, it's warmth. I love to I always come in every day. I come in and I light my candle. So it's a great way to start things off on the day and to get my altar activated and start me thinking about my work again. This is a dove. It's a white bird. I think of this as my connection to God, to source or spirit, whatever you call it. I think of it as the Holy Spirit and my higher self as well. And that reminds me to always include that in my business because that's important to me, that connection to God and to spirit. Next this is a book that I've set these on, and it says Signs and Symbols. Partly the colors were right? The golds and reds. But a lot of it I want to remember as I'm talking with my higher self or I'm connecting with God or I'm asking for help. I want to be cognizant of looking for signs and symbols and understanding what they mean, taking the time to understand what they mean and to listen to that intuition that's speaking to me. So that's a reminder to do that. Next I have this leaf. This is an earth element item. And it's made from clay by an artisan. And I just think it's beautiful. And it reminds me of creativity and growth, the leaf, again, for growing. But I like the creativity in it and the making things that are beautiful and useful. Next, underneath that is a $1 million bill. It's not real, but it reminds me of abundance. It's not about a specific number. It's about not limiting myself, not believing that I can't have something for whatever reason, whatever stories I have around not being able to make $1 million or to earn $1 million this is a reminder that that's just a story. And it may or may not be my goal to make $1 million or $2 million or $5 million. But the main thing is to not limit myself. So that's what that's about. In the center is my offering bowl. I always have an offering bowl or plate or something, and I like to put things in it that are meaningful for me, related to my goals on the altar, related to my desires for whatever the altar's for. This one is for my business, right? So there's a few things in here. This is very old. It's from when I was a child. I found a 4-leaf clover, and my mom taped it onto this piece of paper. And I've moved like 30 times. Through 30 moves, I still have this little piece of paper with my good luck symbol. So I will take all the good luck I can get. And that's what that symbolizes. It also reminds me of my mom, who would totally support me in this if she were here, and maybe is anyway from wherever she's at. And it reminds me of childhood, about that belief That, again, not limiting myself, believing that everything can happen and that there's magic in the world. And that is something I like to believe. Next, there's a few stones in here. This one is pyrite. Pyrite's an excellent stone for business. You could put it on your desk or somewhere. It's pretty. It sparkles. Right? But it means action and vitality and confidence. It helps to remind us of those things that are already a part of us, right? So, beautiful stone. Another one is carnelian, which I just love. It's an orangey red, very pretty. And carnelian is about creativity. It's sort of like an Aries stone. It's individuality, but it's also creativity because of the color. It relates to your sacral chakra. And also courage. You know, the courage to take the steps you need to take and to protect yourself from the fears that might hold you back when you're doing the things you need to do or want to do in a new venture. Like this is not so new, but this venture of my business. And the last one is yellow jasper, which is just pretty. It reminds me of the sun. The sun to me is, again, self, but igniting and energizing. And the sun supports everything, right? But yellow jasper specifically is for discernment and clarity, which is really important when you're running a business, especially by yourself and you don't have a lot of people to check in with. It's nice to have that critical discernment, not in a negative way, not being critical with yourself, but just keeping things clear. It also is good for enthusiasm, which is something I can always use. So those are all also earth elements, all the stones, right? So plenty of earth elements. There's all the elements are represented here. And it's a pretty balanced altar, and I'm really happy with it. I hope that helps you when you're working on your own altars. And I really appreciate you watching this. If you have taken my altar course, I hope you liked it. If you haven't, you can go to my website, theintrepidgoddess.com, and you can sign up and take it for free. It's a mini course delivered via email. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Goodbye.